Hi everyone, a warm welcome to all. Today it's about the conjunction and the retrogression of 2026. And in 2026, there are moments of clarity, reconsideration, and the moments where life simply demands us to trust the timing. The year feels like a fresh start but needs some cleansing, some rebuilding, and the rise from where we are. There are big endings, big beginnings. Many of us will change their path, their jobs, their home, and the priorities of life will change from here. It is the year of reset, some major corrections, powerful conjunctions, and some few karmic turning points also. Several planets in 2026 retrogrades in important signs, and there are eclipses that mark some strong emotional change of cycle. Saturn dominates the year with its pressure, its discipline, and some karmic lessons, emotional lessons. Jupiter is shifting from a joyful Gemini to a nurturing Cancer to a bold Leo, from communicative to emotional to an expressive and confident person. With eclipses in Aquarius, Leo, and also Cancer, our destiny changes with our future goals, collective actions, leadership qualities, our confidence, the way we express, and the emotional security connected with all these things. Retrogrades add a reflective tone here, not to delay our life but to help us to see what we might miss when we move too fast in life. Conjunctions, on the other hand, blends the energies of planet, and it creates some unique impact, some unique combination. Both retrogression and conjunction makes things exceptional and little unpredictable also. Let us explore first the retrogression of 2026 that creates a rhythm of repeat, a rhythm of return to our inner groundings, repetition of emotional clarity, return to intellectual honesty, and return to our spiritual maturity. Sharing the revised and the corrected chart of 2026 transits, and do consider this one, not the previous one of the earlier video of 2026. 2026 teaches one simple truth here. With all its retrogression, that transformation begins first within and then outwardly. It moves through every layer of ourselves and emerges only after old patterns have been understood well and released whatever was needed. Secondly, except Sun and Moon, all the planets get retrograde each year and gives us some pause, making things slow. So even if we are reflecting back for any errors, we get improvement in that. See, retrograde planets are our soul's checkpoint. Especially observe the stationary period. They help us to revisit our past, reclaim the forgotten wisdom, heal the unfinished stories of our life, refine the qualities of that planet, and expand our spiritual maturity. They are not our obstacles or they create blockages in our life. They have some hidden agenda. They are actually making us grow from inside out. And the lessons of the retrograde planet is hidden in the element of that sign where the planet is getting retrograde. The base of any learning for retrogression is in the element of that sign. And each element reshapes the retrograde energy in its own unique manner. In 2026, retrograde planets are moving through earth, water, and air mostly, and also fire towards the end of the year. It can be a journey of revisiting our foundations, cleansing our emotional layers, rethinking on our beliefs, and also rediscovering all the forgotten truth. Each retrograde acts as a step to our inner world, guiding the collective mind and our soul back to the places that still hold some unanswered questions. 2026 starts with a retrograde Uranus in Taurus, reshaping and shifting our relationship with stability and mental security. All kind of material security also. See, here earth element slows the Uranus sudden unexpected energy, giving enough time to renew our old structures rather than being just fixed rebellion here. It is the time to examine where our stubbornness has blocked the necessary changes and where our comfort has blocked our growth. We also have retrograde Jupiter in Gemini at the start of the year, carrying a unique blend of first water and then air element, and towards the end of the year, even fire element. See, Jupiter is fastest in this 2026, from Gemini to Cancer to Leo. Cancer Jupiter re-enters Gemini with intention of dissolving our old emotional patterns through honest conversations. Having some fresh ideas, right information, and renewed curiosity here. Mind becomes the healer here, but only after our heart releases what it no longer needs to hold. This retrogression reminds us that wisdom grows when the feeling and the thoughts meet halfway. Then talking about Mercury, it gets retrograde nearly 3 to 4 times a year. And this time it happens with mostly in the air element. Here thoughts becomes introspective and collective mind turns towards its own complications. In Aquarius, Mercury retrograde always awakens the question of the truth. What is authentic, what is borrowed, and what must be questioned here? And all this is for the well-being of everyone, collective well-being. The ideas we had accepted without any reflection now return at this time for some deeper consideration. Our old assumptions clear up gently, making room for some new clarity here. Then in early May, Pluto gets retrograde in Uttarashadha Nakshatra for one last time in Capricorn, pulling everyone into a deeper inner battle with the power, with authority, and some long-standing structures. Expect a major changes here. In the sign where Leo is placed, Earth retrogrades are always slow and silent, but Pluto's presence here makes the silence feel more intense, controlling. It is the return of our karmic commitments, our old responsibilities, and old ambitions. This time needs to review the foundation of discipline and integrity, asking whether the structures built in the previous years can truly support the weight of our future goals. And then by late of June, Mercury once again retrogrades, and this time moving from Cancer back to Gemini, tracing the same water and air bridge that Jupiter also has been crossing, and in Punarvasu Nakshatra, Jupiter's Nakshatra. Here, emotional understanding seeks mental clarity, and mental clarity seeks emotional truth here. Communication returns to the heart and then to the mind, creating a loop of reflection that clears any misunderstanding and reveals the unspoken feelings, unspoken emotions. And then in July, Neptune and Saturn both turn retrograde in Pisces. This is the most mystical moment of the year, triggering water, our emotions in the deep sea, ocean. Neptune dissolves our illusion, and Saturn rebuilds the reality and discipline of life. Together, they both create a deep cleansing that moves through both the dream world and the karmic world. Our old fears, our old patterns, emotional patterns, and old spiritual wounds rise to surface, not to scare us, but to purify. This double retrogression in water element becomes the emotional heartbeat of 2026. Then Uranus again returns to its retrogression in Taurus, reminding us that the inner structuring is not just one-time event. It is the time to slow down one more time, to examine our attachments and to question our definitions of comfort and values. Taurus retrograde always brings us back to some simplicity. What is essential, what is real, and what is worth keeping. And then by October, Venus retrogrades from Libra to Virgo now, moving from air to earth element. Here, Venus has 8-year cycle to return to the same sign in retrograde motion. And the last time Libra retrograde was in October 2018, if you can recollect your time back then. Expect something related to that time in Venus's signification, like all relationships, love, balance, partnership, and self-worth can return now for some refinement. This time it is the struggle and the balance of Libra's principles and Virgo's practicality here. Venus here demands to notice the details we once overlooked and rebuild our bonds on honesty rather than any surface grace or beauty. Interestingly, even Mercury retrogrades in Libra this time, reinforcing Venus's message. Conversations in relationships, partnerships, and agreements can slow down here, can go back and forth. It gets clarity also, encouraging harmony through some deeper listening and balancing, of course. Air retrograde here becomes the mirror, helping us to understand how our communication shapes the bonds that we create. And finally, once again, Jupiter turns retrograde, and this time from Leo back to Cancer, carrying the fire-water transition into early 2027. Fire retrogrades turn passion inward, softening our pride, ego, and refining our purpose of life. In Cancer, our heart, our emotions become final teacher of the year. Wisdom returns to the emotional truth. Growth returns to compassion, and expansion returns to our inner home of the heart. The journey ends where it began here, from Jupiter's retrogression, and end with Jupiter's retrogression. The foundation of our life and the inner self is becoming the true source of stability towards the end of the year. The overall energy of 2026 feels like a gentle reset, quiet on the surface but very powerful under the beneath. Every sign experiences the inner balancing, emotional cleansing, and a renewed sense of direction as the year progresses. It is a year that demands to stay open, patient, and stay connected to our inner self. And now, briefly about the conjunctions of 2026. And talking about the conjunction happens when the different energies combine and work as a team. Whatever they represent becomes louder in our life that time when the conjunction happens, and that sign, that house is a focal point. Somehow it gets activated. Events can speed up here with conjunction, and as conjunction brings some turning point, there are new decisions and some new realization also. We start the conjunction of the year 2026 with Aquarius Rahu conjoined with Mercury, Venus, Sun and Mars by February and March one by one. And this will increase our mental load, our thinking. Expect some sudden decisions, some strong desires, even confusion, but also some creativity if used well. See, we also have eclipses starting at this time, around February and March. Expect some new start with each conjunction while with Rahu. Then we have conjunction of Saturn with Venus, Sun, Mercury retrograde, and also Mars by March and April. And this can give some strong reality check, some major karmic lessons, and this time demands to get us slow and organized with everything. This is the time where all planets are direct. Use this time well for your own benefit and with surely Saturn's blessing. Then we have Jupiter conjunct Mercury and Ketu conjunct first Venus and then Sun and Mercury in August month. Expect emotional and intellectual wisdom to let go whatever is needed here and detach from that. Our old emotional patterns may suddenly break. This can be a very good time for inner healing and end any confusion within relationships. Get clarity here. It is the best time to allow any endings that feel natural. Do not force any clarity, but let it develop naturally here. And then in October, we have Mars conjunct Jupiter in Ashlesha Nakshatra, close to Gandanta point. Expect intense motivation with deep emotional triggers. Here, any hidden motives can come out in open. There can be strong drive to achieve something very meaningful, strongly. It is best to channel our this intensity into some productive goals and avoid any revenge-like reactions. Be mindful as this Jupiter and Mars conjunction in Cancer close to Gandanta point will prepare the stage for the next key conjunction in Leo that is happening between Ketu, Mars and Jupiter. And that we have in the month of November at 1 degree in Magha Nakshatra. This is the most powerful conjunction of the year 2026 and expect a major karmic reset and fiery breakthrough, ego clashes within authorities, some leadership change and a sudden ending here. See, there is massive courage with Leo and in Magha Nakshatra, Ketu's Nakshatra. Expect a blind way action without any consideration. There is a leadership turning point globally. It is best to stay humble and conscious about everything. The habits that needed some shifting, the emotions that needed clearing, and the decisions that require our deeper honesty and truth. Big developments can happen here when ego steps aside. So be egoless and take action in the interest of everyone. That is the goal of this Aquarius Leo axis. That was all about the retrogression and the conjunction of 2026. And to conclude, by end of the year, the combined impact of these retrogradations and conjunctions will soften and strengthen us if used well. They will help us to see more clearly what we genuinely want to carry forward in the coming time. 2026 may not be very loud, but it will quietly reshape our path, our destiny. And as we move forward, we do so with more awareness, steadier priorities, and with a deeper sense of our own timing, trusting that everything real will find its way and anything unstable is meant to fall away. That was about the overview of the retrogression and the conjunction of 2026. I hope this was helpful. Best wishes to everyone with the new year 2026. Thank you for your time. Do share your feedback and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.